What's going on, everybody? This is afrothinktank. Today's topic is going to be about me basically reminding you black people how great we are. Okay? Sometimes I think that we take for granted how great we are. Or we just like to say how great we are because it makes us feel good as a group of people. You know, like every culture on the planet believes that they're great or feel that they're great. Okay? Every culture in the world has examples of things that they've done to prove to themselves that they're great. Right? Everybody has their grand achievement as a group of people, you know, as the pinnacle of their greatness, you know, at certain points in time. or it provides them with racial pride, you know, a racial self-esteem, a high racial self-esteem that they use to stay unified or to, you know, overall live a better psychological and physical life. Right? It's just what they do. Okay, it's what everybody does. You know, you think about your greatness, makes you feel good, everybody's unified. So, we like to say we are great, but a lot of people don't actually understand how great we are. When we take our achievements and measure it up against other people's achievements, and we just take our own achievement that we accomplished and did, you know, as a group of people. You know, when you really think about it, instead of just saying it and actually think about what is it that we have done to make ourselves great, or to even be able to call ourselves great. What are those achievements? You know, what can we see today that we did, you know, when we did things that were great? Because a lot of us don't believe what we're saying when we call ourselves great. We don't know anything, right? So some of us just forget or take it for granted. So I just want to remind you of some of the things we have done in the past. Great Zimbabwe, for example. Great Zimbabwe walls rivaled those of the Great Walls of Great China, the Chinese Great Wall, that thing, right? The wall didn't work, couldn't keep the Mongols out. It was a massive failure. Killed millions of people. It was a very waste of time, right? But that's their achievement. But we had Great Zimbabwe. Great Zimbabwe, a city that had massive walls built to high precision with no mortar, right? And the walls were just as long. I think they might have came shorter. It might have been longer, give or take, but taller, just as fantastic. You can see it from space, right? We built that smack dab in the middle of Africa, right? When the Europeans saw it, they were so flabbergasted. I had to use the word flabbergasted, that we built that they made up a story about a white lost tribe that was in Zimbabwe that built that Stonehenge, that stone structure, because they could not believe that these black folks built that. Period. They literally made up a whole story and they put it in the history books, and the people studied that. And you can probably go to plenty of universities right now where that book is still in the library as something that's true. And people to this day still believe that. All right? Period. That's how amazing that structure is. Okay, that's just one example. Nubia. It's not just the pyramids. They always focus on the pyramids because that's what everybody sees. But there are other buildings other than the pyramids. They have worshiping centers, schools, housing complexes. They have factories. They have there's other things that's still there that's built that's just as amazing as the pyramids that you see. But they don't like to show you. You know why? Because they've already copied it, remastered it, and built it in our major cities that we see nowadays, like Paris, Washington, D.C., You know, places like that where you see these buildings and it looks so amazing, but what you don't know is those are African buildings. Okay? So then you got the Egyptians, right? You know, huge pyramids, huge structures. When the Europeans saw it, they were so amazed and just could not believe that these black folks built those structures. They were so upset. They were so upset, they just started destroying stuff. They built an entire site around it. They dug their graves out of the ground and stole all of the most important things that meant something to that culture. They stole it and put it in their monuments and museums. What other group of people desecrates graves and makes a science of it and displays it in their museums? What if we were to go to somebody's grave, dig them up because they're old, take the jewelry off their finger, right? Point a camera in its face and say, "Dag, you know, this one was dressed pretty nice. You know, he was black. You know, he had long hair, and it looked like he was kind of stressed out. He might have had scoliosis. You know, and post it on YouTube. Call it history." Who else does that? And like that's okay. Okay? Who does that? So sometimes we need to be reminded how great we are. Carthage. People don't want to talk about Carthage was a great city just like Rome. There were more than one Carthage. You know, I think it burnt down. They had plenty of wars. You know, so I think there's different iterations of it, but all of them great. There are things in the Sahara Desert that's being discovered, yet not talked about. You can rarely find them. There's whole kingdoms, whole structures in the middle of the desert the size of the United States of America. Things that would rival anything you see in Egypt and Nubia. But it's underneath the sand because of desertification. It's there. But some of it's popping out and it's been discovered. But it's hard to find that. I don't want to talk about that. Timbuktu. Literally a city which biggest currency was books. Okay? That's it. We were in West Africa. Biggest currency was books. Okay? Not gold. Not diamonds. Not rubies. Not any... Books. Books. That's how great we are. And Timbuktu is just one of the most famous cities. It wasn't the only city. And it wasn't always the most prosperous city. There were other cities next to it, just as famous, just as prosperous, and some of them had other things that they made their money off of. Right? Everybody knows about Mansa Musa. Right? The king. And just so you know, Mansa Musa is the king, which the emperor. That's not actually his name. That's the title. All right? You want to know his name? I'm gonna let you look that one up for yourself. Can't do everything for you. But Mansa Musa is the title. That's not his name. Okay? But I'm going to let you look that one up. I know, but I'm not going to tell you. That's why you have to do some research and start looking for yourself and stimulate your brain, so that you can remind yourself of how great we are. We are architects. Science. The Dogon. Okay, these people map the universe already. Way back when. When the Europeans found out about it, they said they must have been visited by aliens or something. Right? As a matter of fact, they say that every great building and civilization in Africa must have been inspired by aliens that came down and taught us how to do it. They had that. I mean, the History Channel literally have shows that's still on to this day with people touting that type of information, because it's no way that these black folks could have possibly did that. They can't possibly be that great. No way. Absolutely not. So aliens must have did it. Period. We can't say we did it because we're white and they, we can't, that won't work forever. We can't say Arab because we know that's not true either, because there's black too. They're just mixed a little bit. So we make them look funny on the TV shows, looking all weird. It doesn't even make sense, or you make shadows because you're really scared. But then you do dumb movies, putting yourselves in there and wonder why it flops. All right? They do stuff like that because they just can't fathom that a Bantu, Nilotic, African group of people built all of that stuff. I don't like using that Afro-Asian because they just slap that Asian to take us away from who we are. No, it ain't no Afro-Asian. Nilotic Bantu. All right? And other groups, all African. Okay? They come from us. We don't come from them. Okay? If anything, they're Afro-Asian. Throw that go. Let it go that way. It don't go the other way. So, even though obviously, we're going through what we're going through right now, this group of people have spent a lot of time, taking away and letting us forget about how great we are. So we have to remember the levels, because there are levels to this, right? Levels. We got great structures, castles, centuries before anything. And our things last forever. Okay? Now, every culture has something that makes them great to a certain level, that they can measure up against other cultures and what they've accomplished. But when you take what we have accomplished, as far as the science, the architecture, moving forward humanity intellectually, as a unit, as a group of people, to prosper as a race and advance ourselves with the right mindset. Capable to physically survive everywhere and adapt perfectly to this planet, with the right mindset and everything, right? So, that's how great we are. That's what we've done. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. Even the way we sing, our vocals, how we connect to vibration, how we use sound, how we connect with the earth, how we resonate with the other members of the human race, how attracted we are, how attractive we are to them, how influential we are to them, how much we project to them, despite our position, despite the hate we get, despite how we're looked at. The power itself is still real. Think about that. Despite what we go through in every part of this world, the actual power of our influence is still so strong that it still overwhelms our enemies and the people that oppress us. Think about that. Think about how great we are. And we still find a way as a group of people to forgive over and over and over. Because that's how good we are. We're architects. We're scientists. We're great warriors because we've never been defeated as well. Never been defeated militarily as a group of people by any army. When it came to fisticuffs, when it came to the sword, when it came to the shield, when it came to actually using yourself as a human being against another opponent without the use of firearms. Even when we faced firearms, even when we faced that, it was still very difficult to defeat us. Because that's how powerful we are. Because that's how great we are. Okay? So think about the structures we've built. How long we've been here on this planet. We're travelers and sailors. We traveled around the world, populated this planet. We created everybody else. We did that. So I just want you sometimes to just take a little time, think about how great we are. Or just when you say it, wonder why we so great. You can see it today. Look around you. Who's the influencer? Just look around you. Sports, entertainment. I mean, just look around you. That's all I gotta say. So I'm just here today to remind you, just so you know how great you are, and keep your head up. Walk with good posture, and walk like you got your own theme song. Feel proud about yourself and your Africanness, and love your fellow African, no matter where they're from on this planet. Demand respect from everybody else. Demand fair play. Get along with everybody. Show the best of you and the best of your tribe. And be strong, because we're gonna get through all of this. We just gotta remember how great we are. We built America. Look, we always do it. Everywhere we go. We built London. Built France. We built it all. We built their stuff. Okay? So we can rebuild our stuff once we remember how great we are. Okay? So, that's all I got to say for now. I've been going for a little bit. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.